Welcome to Caleb Can't Read. I'm Jordan Rabel.
I'm Caleb Terrence.
These are delicious mimosas you have made us.
I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in the quality of these canned mimosas.
The canned mimosas that you made at the store. That
I was ready to have just like a wonderful evening with you.
It's so fucking weird though. We picked up a can and it was you could tell it's lighter by like 0.2 grams or something from a regular beer. And it was like...
You totally fucking can.
It's so weird.
It's slightly off.
Wow, that's a seasoned alcoholic right there.
Blindfolded. Like, nope.
Something about the smell of the can itself, too, is just... It's not there. It's so
Something's
weird.
not right.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna power through it.
Yeah, we'll power through. No, there's not rat piss on this can, like from a Milwaukee factory.
Yeah. No, this is fine. It's yummy.
It's
That's the best I can say. I would never go up to someone in a bar and say, "Hey man, you should try this. It's good." I would say, "Hey man, this is kind of fucking yummy."
it's acceptable. It's like this. I feel like we're gonna get halfway through this, and then it will sit in the back of the fridge until we don't have alcohol one day.
Oh no, it's going to probably fester into vinegar.
Mimosa
that would probably
vinegar?
be okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay,
gonna
now
mind
we have to start over again.
Why?
Because we just rambled on about a mimosa beer for.
Caleb, how have you been liking Roald Dahl as a person so far?
I mean, he's okay, I guess.
Well, you know that term, never meet your heroes?
Yeah.
It's going to take place in today's episode. Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, last episode, we went into Roald Dahl's childhood. The Great Mouse Plot of 1923.
You suck at segues.
Yeah, the abuse he received in school, and his summers in Norway, where he learned of giants and witches, and one time had his nose cut off in a car accident. We then delved into his war career, being in possibly the shittiest squadron, and his life as a spy. A sexy spy. Literally his job to fuck. Enjoying a popular career as a mystery writer after the war, Roald Dahl would be forever known for his children's books, beginning in 1961 with James and the Giant Peach, and in 1964 with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And as much success as he was having with his work, his home life was anything but ideal. His eldest and favorite child, Olivia, had died young from measles, and his son Theo was catapulted by a fucking taxicab when he was just 4 years old.
Yeah, I remember that. That
Although
was wild.
he did somehow survive.
Didn't they have to put some weird shit in his skull?
Yeah, put a fucking faucet in there.
Sick.
I know. It's cool.
But it was all steampunk and sick.
Son, in 50 years, this will be known as steampunk, and it'll still be fucking lame. Now, soon after the release of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 1964, his wife, Patricia Neal, would suffer 3 aneurysms the following year, all while pregnant with her and Roald's next kid, probably due to her heavy smoking. Like, she was an impressive smoker, but the aneurysms completely bedbound her, and she had to relearn how to walk, all while pregnant. Over the course of the next several months, Roald Dahl helped rehabilitate Patricia, and eventually she was able to return to acting. Luckily, this didn't fuck up the kid, and on August 4th, 1965...
You sure about that?
She's fine so far.
Do you think the smoking didn't either?
Oh, that's fair. Okay, yeah.
Like she's smoking enough to have fucking aneurysms. You don't think she kept smoking while she was pregnant?
She was eating insulation. It's fine,
Yeah, just inhaling it.
Yeah. And on August 4th, 1965, Roald Dahl and Patricia Neal had their 5th and final child, Lucy Neal Dahl. Now, something that I feel gets looked over far too often is Roald Dahl's erotic fiction. In the mid-60s...
Oh, you didn't fucking look over it, though, did you?
Hell no.
You just couldn't fucking put that down. Fuck.
It's actually extremely hard to find because it's rare and very valuable. I went to one bookstore that deals in, like, more rare books, and I asked them for one of his erotic, like, collections, and they were like, no, we used to have it, but if it were there, it would just be in the children's section. And I was like, I feel like you don't know about this man's other career. Well, in the mid-60s, Dahl started writing short stories for Playboy. The Visitor, published in their May 1965 issue, was his first. It's about a man named Oswald, and Oswald has found himself stranded in the town of Cairo. Looking for a place to stay, he finds himself the guest of a generous businessman. Now, this Egyptian man has, as Oswald later finds, a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter. And by the end of the night, Oswald plans to make love to at least one of them. Well, all through the evening, Oswald does his best to seduce the ladies before retiring to his bed for the night. Under the cover of darkness, one of the women slips in, and all night, they make passionate love before the woman slips outside. But which one was it, the wife?
This isn't interesting at all.
Or the daughter? No matter, thinks Oswald, as he rises for breakfast and joins his host at the table. But in its twist ending, it's revealed that the wealthy businessman actually has a second daughter who's been quarantined from company due to a vicious contraction of leprosy. This story has been retold by comedians in some manner since Dahl first told it to his friends in the RAF back in 1941. Norm Macdonald made it part of his set in the 90s. In 1966, Dahl wrote and released a book from Harper & Row called The Magic Finger. This is not... We're leaving erotic fiction for a moment.
Wait. We are?
Yeah, Magic Finger. It's a children's story. All right.
Well, don't fucking follow that with that.
It's in order. The story is of an unnamed little girl.
Do all the adult at once.
No.
Don't do it by date. What is wrong with you?
What the fuck?
Why? Sometimes that's not the best way to organize things.
Man, Memento really changed your life, didn't it?
I don't even fucking remember that movie.
There's a joke there too, actually, but never mind. The story is of an unnamed little girl who, whenever she gets angry, has a magic finger that shoots out a bolt of energy and instantly seeks out whoever has angered her. When the bolt hits you, it enacts varying results. For instance, the neighbors to this little girl are avid hunters, and when they make fun of her for being so sensitive to their killing of the forest animals, she shoots a bolt of energy
it makes their dick small.
It affects the whole family. They wake up duck-sized and with wings instead of arms.
So in a way, yes.
Yeah, so it's a corkscrew.
Yeah.
However, there are also a couple ducks that are now human-sized with arms instead of wings. In a role reversal, the neighbors become hunted, for the ducks have found their guns. But eventually they convince the ducks to destroy the guns, and the neighbors learn to change their ways. It's a quick little story, like 40 pages.
Sounds goofy and fun.
Yeah,
and
it's
not
Roald
pornographic.
Dahl. Yeah, it's 40 pages. Got
Better
pictures.
fucking not be if there's giant ducks in it.
It's your kind of book, you know. But what was probably taking up most of Dahl's focus at this time was his foray into the motion picture world. Roald Dahl would adapt two of his late friend Ian Fleming's stories into movies. Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond. The first was for the 1967 James Bond film You Only Live Twice, the fifth in the series.
Who's Bond for that one?
This would be...
I say that like I'm aware of like a lot of Bonds, and I have no idea why.
I want to say this is actually Sean Connery's last one.
Sean Connery one?
Yeah.
Okay, dude, how do you feel about that franchise?
Oh, they suck.
Thank you.
Movies are fucking
that shit's
lame.
so boring, man. Oh my, how are they still fucking making them?
Because they're always for the time, you know. Well, because I have to hear it from my dad all the time. You know, at the time, this was actually the greatest car chase scene ever. I don't care. It isn't now.
If that's the greatest car chase scene at the time, go do something else at that time.
Yeah, no, just watch Fury Road. Like, just fucking duh.
Yeah. No, always boring as shit.
Skyfall and Casino Royale are great. Otherwise, they're really... I watched every James Bond film because I had a Blockbuster card.
Oh my God.
I watched every... I didn't have a job. My parents, like, it was...
know they're still making them, right?
Yeah.
You haven't watched all of them.
I actually haven't seen the last one.
There's no way in fucking hell you rented any recent ones from a Blockbuster. Haven't there been several?
No, yeah. No, I mean, I went through all the Pierce Brosnan ones up to that point, and then they kind of stopped for a hot second, and then they're like, hey, we got this old man-looking one. His name's Daniel Craig, you know, and I was like, oh, that's going to suck. And then it was a great movie, and then it wasn't, and then they made a good one, and then it wasn't. I heard the last one was okay. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Now, again, Dahl and Fleming were good buddies back when they were in the Irregulars in the 1940s. So when the studio was having trouble adapting his book to screen, they suggested Ian's friend Roald Dahl, who was very open about saying, yeah, you're having a hard time adapting it because it's Ian's worst book. And at this point, Ian Fleming was already long dead. He died back in 1964. In a move that would become standard for all following James Bond films, Dahl decided to keep the title, but completely make up the plot with no respect to what was in the book. He said since he was only given like 6 weeks to write the draft, he pretty much just copied the first film, Dr. No, but kept it in Japan, which at the time was the best one. So The second movie Roald Dahl adapted to the screen, again based on Ian Fleming's work, was the 1968 classic Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I didn't know about this. I had no idea either of these two people were involved.
Never seen this.
Me neither. I don't care for it. It's a talking car. I don't care.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. Oh, it flies. I don't know if
I
it
would hear the
talks.
song in passing
Yeah.
occasionally, and I'd be like, wow, that sounds really irritating, even as a child.
Yeah. No, yeah. 100%. Apparently, Ian Fleming, he used to tell his kid about the flying car he used to own as, like, bedtime stories. Like, oh, yeah, no, it was a great car, and just bullshitted. Well, after Ian Fleming suffered...
Like a British thing?
Right? Like, oh, cool. It's so silly. It's a lame story.
And we are fucking cynical tonight.
British humor is bad. Anyway, after Ian Fleming suffered a heart attack, he put these stories down into a book, and it was released shortly after his death. Now, Albert Broccoli, the producer of all the James Bond films, he had a monopoly on all of Fleming's work. He didn't really care to adapt Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But after having seen the success of the 1964 film Mary Poppins, he decided, maybe the book's not so bad after all. Some stupid shit happens and kids love it. But again...
Make some money and I have prostitutes to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You pay them? But again, Roald Dahl did not follow his friend's work.
Good luck if you don't.
The movie is apparently very different from the novel. So much so, in fact, that there's a novelization of the movie based on the book just because it's so different. I will say, I'm happy that Roald Dahl got his success early on, because although he not only hold on to that success throughout the rest of his life, but become a bigger and more world-renowned author as well. His mother, Sophie, died on November 17th, 1967 in Cardiff at age 82.
Whoa.
What?
That was a jump.
No, I'm just saying he's at the height of his career, or at least what feels like it would be. He's writing fucking movies. He's doing a great job. And then his mom dies. And at least she got to see that much.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, she doesn't know that he's going to become like one of the biggest children's authors, possibly behind Dr. Seuss, but...
And also the James Bond guy.
Fuck, yeah, I guess.
I didn't fucking know that. I know the James and the Giant Peach guy was the James Bond guy.
No, not the same guy. Wait, what?
Wait, are we talking... What happened here?
Ian Fleming wrote James Bond.
Oh, word. Oh, man, I was getting all mixed up.
You know what's so weird is that I watched you. You were listening to me because you responded to things.
I'm not even drunk yet. This is just...
Not yet.
This is just me living.
Maybe that's what's wrong. Shotgun your champagne. He says that his mother knew when she'd die. She actually made a point to call Roald the day before. Not to tell him that she would die, but she kind of had this farewell conversation with him. When she passed, Roald was delivered every letter he ever wrote his mother since the time he was a child at boarding school. He had written one letter to her every week for the last 42 years. And when you see these letters, you can see that as the only son amongst his sisters, he just signed his letters jokingly as boy. We're going to see this come up in a little bit.
Boy.
Now, Roald Dahl's still good at it. Now, Roald Dahl held Charlie and the Chocolate Factory very dear to his heart. And as such, he wanted to write the script. And so did 10-year-old Madeline Stewart, whose father, Mel Stewart, would later direct the film. Apparently, Madeline loved the book so much that she asked her dad to buy the rights and make the movie, which to me is a very Veruca Salt move. And when the NAACP...
Shut the fuck up.
What?
I'm sorry, I just didn't like that. I thought it was lame.
No, it was funny.
It was
No, it was funny. It was funny.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
All right, move along.
Well, when the NAACP heard that they were making a movie, they were very quick to send letters warning about the use of African pygmies as the Oompa Loompas. But director Mel Stewart was already on top of that one.
What if we do the same thing, but we call it Orange Face? Okay, what if we don't call it that at all, but we just do that? Boom, there it is. Right, great.
You know, a lot of your problems could be solved just by not talking about it.
Good.
Turns out.
Good. No, orange and make them thick. Yeah, there
God,
it
why
is.
do they have to make them so stupid sexy?
God, why are they so thick?
And the studio gave Roald plenty of time to write the script. I mean, they wanted this movie made since the 60s, just waiting for him to deliver a draft. But after 2 missed deadlines, they went to someone else. And although they still list Roald Dahl as having written the screenplay in the movie, Paramount Pictures went to David Seltzer instead. Now, while Seltzer would go on to make a name for himself in Hollywood as the guy who wrote The Omen, this was his first fucking gig. And just as Roald Dahl threw out everything he could of Ian Fleming's work to adapt it to the screen, so too did David Seltzer. Now, altogether, he really only changed about 30% of the last script Dahl sent to Paramount, but the things he changed were huge. In a good way. He wrote several of the most well-known Oompa Loompa songs, including Pure Imagination and The Candyman, but to Roald, these changes were unwarranted. In the end...
You changed the Oompa
Loompas? How dare you?
I just really don't understand why you couldn't remain true to the source material. I just really don't understand what was wrong with this. I feel like you're taking it the wrong way and you're making it a race thing, and it's not a race thing. They're just pygmies.
It was states' rights.
States' rights. What? It's a fucking chocolate factory. Mr. Dahl.
So why wouldn't they be... no. Now, in the end, the studio even changed the title from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. But there is a good reason for that.
Wait, did they really? I thought it was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, that's the Tim Burton one.
Oh.
It's Willy Wonka.
The original one is Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka, yeah.
Fuck the Tim Burton one.
There was a good... I know.
Fuck Tim Burton, man.
I know. But there was a good reason for the title change.
Hot wife, though.
Yeah, well, they're divorced, so yeah, your luck is changing.
And she's old.
I know. To American audiences in the middle of the Vietnam War, no one wanted to hear the word Charlie ever again. For those of you that are, for some reason, an audience to us in the Middle East, thank you, by the way, that was the name we gave to our enemies, the Viet Cong, during the Vietnam War.
You don't think they fucking know that?
Why would they?
Everyone knows American history.
Thank you, and we know yours. Now, in England...
We don't need to. Editing point right there. Boom! Now I know what you're fucking talking about.
Now, in England, there was a whole other reason. Black guys over there had their own version of Uncle Tom, and it was called Mr. Charlie. If a white guy was being uppity to you, you'd say, "Oh, so sorry, Mr. Charlie." Or if a black guy had the thought of, "Hey, maybe the white people aren't treating us all that bad," the other guys would say, "When did you become such a Charlie?" But in the end, the title change was nothing more than brand recognition. Quaker Oats produced this movie. They knew they were going to...
Fucking what?
Yeah, right? They produced it. They knew they were going to put out a line of chocolate that
the oat people produced movies at one point?
The one with the fucking Amish guy on the front.
Yeah, I'm
I guess
familiar.
He's a Quaker, but
yeah, the one with the Quaker on it.
Look at him shake. They knew they were going to put out a line of chocolate that would be selling super duper fast.
A weird fucking expression on that thing's face, though.
Yeah, he seems to know a secret, you know? So instead of anyone telling their friends, "Hey, I saw Charlie over the weekend," they would say, "I saw Willy Wonka over the weekend," and the name would be on your mind when you went to the grocery store, whether you saw the film or not. That's brilliant marketing. It didn't work in the long run, though, because production stalled at the candy factory, and the candy bars didn't come out until years later. But to Roald Dahl, the title changed...
Who the fuck made the candy bars?
Quaker Oats.
Quaker Scroats?
Yes. Well, for Quaker Scroats. But no, they did change it to Nestle, I think now owns it. Like, They bought the rights, but... Yeah.
So they produced the movie, and then they made the chocolate.
Yeah, but the candy bars wouldn't come out for years. Because they fucked up, you know,
because they really goofed and
yeah, but to Roald Dahl,
they're gonna release Avatar candy in 5 years.
Damn it! How is it still relevant? He really did it. He made a sequel. But to Roald Dahl, the title change was actually the final insult. He never trusted movie studios with his work ever again. But why wasn't he working on the script then, like they had asked? Turned out he was too busy writing a different movie called The Night Digger. Or The Road Builder, as it was called in England. Don't give me that look.
I'm sorry, you fucking freaked me out for a second there.
He basically was writing a movie for his wife, and it got bad reviews, and nobody cared about it. No one ever watched it. But to be fair, maybe it was because he was also at the same time working on his next classic.
It feels like a tongue twister where if you mess it up, you just get your ass kicked.
That's why we called it The Road Builder.
That's great.
In England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, from George Allen and Unwin in 1970 came The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Which, yeah, the second half of the Wes Anderson movie is the entire book, by the way. There's 3 farmers, Bogus, Bunce, and Bean, one fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were nonetheless equally mean. These guys are farmers that Mr. Fox constantly hits for their chickens. The 3 farmers have had enough, decide to dig Mr. Fox and his family out of the burrow. They shoot off his tail, but the Fox family is forced underground. They steal from them to get back at him.
Yeah, that movie kicks ass, man.
It's very, very fucking good movie.
The movie's sick.
I know.
I will not take any slander about Fantastic Mr.
I know
Fox.
I'm a hipster for liking Wes Anderson movies and whatnot, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is fantastic. What are you gonna do?
It's fucking awesome.
It's
The
actually
wolf scene? Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah.
No one can see you doing the gesture.
Oh, I have to do a gesture every time it's brought up, though. It's actually a very quick book. The Wes Anderson movie made up most of it with some references to the original work, but overall, it's very much just a Wes Anderson movie. But as much as I'd like to think that Roald Dahl missed his opportunity with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory because he was working on this classic story, he probably did miss the cut because he was working on The Road Builder and not Fantastic Mr. Fox, because Roald was getting more and more interested in the movie business, it would turn out. Or should I say, those that worked
Wait.
in the movie business.
Fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory wasn't a failure, though.
No, but he also didn't really have much to do with it.
Oh, okay.
He wanted that to be like his big... I mean, his name still got on it. Like, they lied and said that he wrote the movie, But, yeah, but he was getting really, really into the movie business. And that's partly because in 1972... the 56-year-old Roald Dahl met the 34-year-old Felicity D'Abreu, who was working...
The fucking what?
D'Abreu.
D'Abreu.
There's an apostrophe in there, so you gotta. She was working as a set designer for...
Sounds like the planetarium guy.
Felicity D'Abreu. She was working as a set designer for a Maxim coffee commercial that Patricia Neal was starring in. So while she was acting, he was like off to the sidelines just flirting.
Did he cheat on his wife?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now Felicity
Wait, so he had money and a little bit of like notoriety, and you're telling me this man cheated on his wife?
Not everyone's a hero.
That's so strange.
I know we haven't covered anyone like this in the past, but it's got to happen sometime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Felicity had 3 children of her own from a marriage that she'd just gotten out of the year before, but besides that, there's nothing more that anyone really knows about her. She's still alive, but she's kept to herself the entire time since then, which honestly is fair. I would. Well, regardless, she and Roald would start an 11-year affair. Now, the 1970s was the heyday.
Oh my god.
That's a long time to cheat.
No, motherfucker. That means she was banging a dude in his 60s.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'll jump ahead here, but I mean, yeah, she did outlive him.
Not even I set it that high on Tinder. Hey, that's the fucking...
Maybe you should have.
That's the bad place. That's the dark place.
Well, she's said she's been married once before. No, I said 4 times before. Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, no, there's something wrong with her. No, 1970s was the heyday for Roald Dahl. The same year he met Felicity in 1972, he released a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from Knopf Inc. called Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator.
What the fuck? I've never heard of this.
Right, yeah. Well, it picks up right where the last one left off, with Charlie in the elevator with Wonka and Grandpa Joe.
Oh, fuck, that's a very literal title.
Yeah, and the elevator rises so high that it leaves the Earth's orbit. The book is largely a collection of space adventures, and it's really Dahl's first foray into science fiction, which is kind of neat. But as much as Paramount smelled blood and wanted the rights to the movie, Dahl wouldn't let them near it after what happened with the first film.
Also sounds like it would have been fucking weird.
Well,
but like not in a fun way.
Yeah, while that would still be the case today, it looks like Netflix is letting Taika Waititi helm the project. So,
oh dear.
Yeah. In 1974, Roald Dahl released his first erotic stories collection called Switch Bitch. I looked up the...
Fucking pick a lane, man. Pick
No,
a fucking lane.
He's an old pervert.
No, dude. No, bad shit happens when you don't pick a fucking lane. You can't be doing kid stuff and adult stuff. Look, Pee Wee Herman. Did he do anything illegal? Did he diddle anyone? No, but you can't do both kid stuff and adult stuff.
Jerking off in a movie theater is still illegal, actually.
Not if you're
But
in a
who
fucking.
amongst us?
Not if you're in an adult movie theater.
It is.
Shut the fuck up.
I
No.
I've seen worse than
Yeah,
that.
so is
happen
drinking in
theaters.
public, but then you put it in a brown paper bag. Like, you get the fuck out of here.
No. I
Like,
agree with you. I really feel like he got the shaft.
hey, nobody touch your
Huh?
penis in the fucking porn theater.
He
Like,
got the shaft. Am I right? Huh? Right. Well, I looked up the synopsis of the stories to Switch
fucking
Fish.
hate you.
None of them are really that mentionable. They're just goofy sex stories like the one I mentioned before, The Visitor. In 1975, Roald Dahl published Danny, the Champion of the World, which was based on an earlier short story he'd written
Now,
for,
this is a
for another
porn
collection.
I'm interested in.
Well, this time it was written with kids in mind. Not the way you're going.
Wait,
no.
fuck. Don't. Okay, yeah, editing. God damn, Jordan. Why are you so comfortable making jokes about diddling?
I wasn't. I said that this is a story about with a child in mind. It's an earlier story, but now with children.
No, you made a diddling joke.
No, I didn't.
Somewhere in there was a diddling joke, and you know it. Fucking own up. Fess up.
I don't know if you remember this, but about 15 years prior, there were a bunch of gypsies that camped outside of the Dahl estate, and they ended up buying a caravan off of them, a Vardo.
Yeah, weren't they using it like a little
Playhouse,
little bouncy castle?
Yeah. I found a needle. Well, Danny, the Champion of the World, was actually written in that gypsy carriage that the Dahl family used as a playhouse, I guess to get the true feel out of it or something, Well, basically, the story is of Danny, a gypsy child whose father runs a gas station and garage. They live together in a small caravan, and at night, Danny's father tells him the story of a big friendly giant that captures good dreams and tosses them out to children at night. It has nothing to do with the story. I'm just doing what they call foreskinning or foreshadowing. Well, Danny and his father are poor, and as such, his father must go onto a wealthy landowner's property to poach game. But when he doesn't come home, Danny gets worried and goes onto the property himself. There, he sees his father ensnared by a trap meant for poachers like him. His leg is hurt, but Danny manages to get him out. They go home, and although they were the criminals in this situation, decide to enact their revenge on the wealthy landowner. So, so Danny and his father...
You get that we're in the wrong, right? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No, we're going
We are
anyway.
only gypsies! So Danny and his father drug all the pheasants and on this guy's property with sleeping medicine stuffed in raisins. And then they take all these knocked out birds and they stuff them in this guy's expensive car. And since Danny helped his dad commit a weird crime, his father deems him champion of the world. And the landowner is for sure painted as the villain in this story, but it's like, he didn't do anything wrong here. Like, yeah, I would hate the rich bastard too, but like, come on, you know?
Wait. So he's got a trap.
He had a trap to capture fucking poachers who were
Capture
trespassing
poachers.
on his
We're
goddamn
trespassing
land.
on land.
Yeah.
Okay, how much land did this guy have?
I don't know. It's a children's story, so he wasn't like, in 170
Okay, and
acres,
how much food did this family have that was hunting?
You know, I don't know.
He's totally the bad guy, Jordan.
I know. Of course he's the bad guy. He's rich. I'm just saying it was shitty.
No.
Well, in 1977, Dahl released The Wonderful World of Henry Sugar and Six More, which is a collection of short stories. Apparently, Dahl's stories had earned him the title of the Master of Nastiness by the critics due to his unhappy endings.
I want to be the master of nastiness.
So he gave one...
Nobody's ever called me anything that nice.
Master of Nastiness?
The master of nastiness.
No, because you would take it as too much pride. That's why they say you're a good person, and then it's like, you fucking liar, you take it back.
No one's ever called me that either.
True. So, because he was seen as Master of Nastiness, he decided to have a story with a happy ending, which was The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, where a guy uses telepathy to cheat at cards and uses the money to set up orphanages. So, yeah, that's a nice story, but also in this collection is a story called The Swan, where these boys horrifically torture another kid. So, I don't know, give and take, I guess.
It's whatever you're vibing, bud.
Yeah. In 1978, he released The Enormous Crocodile, about a croc that wants to eat children. But
I thought he released an enormous crocodile for a second.
it came out of his zipper. It's a croc that wants to eat children, but he doesn't, and he gets thrown into the sun. I'm only mentioning...
Fucking back up, bud.
It's a short picture book.
Are you intentionally like trying to bait a reaction out of me? Like this happens a lot where you say some wild ass shit and then you just try to glaze over it and then I have to go back and it's a whole fucking thing.
No, because I it's not really worth mentioning. The only reason I'm mentioning this one is because if you look at any...
Why can't we get a Wes Anderson movie of that? That sounds fucking awesome.
Probably will, fuck. If you look at any Roald Dahl cover nowadays, it's probably drawn by a guy named Quentin Blake, and The Enormous Crocodile was the first book he worked with Roald Dahl on. He pretty much became the illustrator for all of his books afterwards. Anything he didn't do, he actually went back and redid everything after Roald Dahl's death, and the art is practically synonymous with Roald Dahl today. Up until I did the research, I thought Roald Dahl was the illustrator of his own books because they use the same art style and everything. You know what I'm talking about.
It's that art.
Yeah, it's that
You know what
art.
I'm talking about? Like, it probably
out,
makes you think of the library.
Yeah, I imagine like the cover of Matilda where she's got a stack of books and shit. You know, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it's just Quentin Blake being his number one guy. I will say I think it's good he went back and did all the books he didn't do because his illustrations are perfectly matched with like how silly and fun the books are. But some of the older illustrations for like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory were fucking creepy.
Well, yeah.
It was not good. Now, in 1979, Roald Dahl published 2 books. One was a collection of his most suspenseful, called Tales of the Unexpected, and this one coincided with a television series of the same name, Tales of the Unexpected. The show was a lot like Way Out, Way Out, because it had an apostrophe in the beginning. It's a way out, but it's way out. It was the show he hosted back in the 60s. It's the exact same premise, too. It's just filmed versions of Roald Dahl stories.
It's Twilight Zone, but like not.
Yeah.
Not.
He
I don't want to call Twilight Zone good. You know what I mean?
No, Twilight Zone was actually really good. Honestly, if you go back and watch them, there are...
some of
really
it. There's a lot of ass in there, though.
I don't know. Maybe they were only showing the good ones on TV, like as reruns.
I wasn't really gone through it.
No,
most of it's goofy as hell. Dude.
I bet. You know what? That's fair enough. I'm not gonna go through and watch.
You're just like, oh, this is straight ass.
Well, Tales of the Unexpected was the same premise. It just filmed his stories, and he introduced the episodes like he's Rod Serling. But although the show ran for 9 years and branched out to other authors' work, Roald Dahl stopped being introduced sometime around season 3. I think he just kind of got tired of it. But the success of the show, at the very least, helped promote a sequel to the book that he released a year later in 1980 called More Tales of the Unexpected. God, what a genius title. But there is one story from this collection.
It's not bad. What the fuck is he supposed to call it?
Tales of the Unexpected 2,
Oh, yeah, no, that would have been
The Unexpecteding. There is one story from this collection, though, called Vengeance is Mine Incorporated. In it, 2 men notice that there's a reporter named Lionel Pantaloon that keeps pissing off people in high places. They figure, gee, I bet people would love to give that guy a punch in the nose if they didn't have so many eyes on them. And with this simple idea, they put out ads saying they'll physically attack the people you can't. A punch in the nose is $5, a black eye is 10, etc.
I'm so glad this shit isn't legal.
It isn't, but
God damn.
I feel like a few people have probably done this. It's like a Hitman, but light, It's like schoolyard shit.
Dude.
I could have probably paid the bully to bully other bullies, It's a good idea. God. I could have. I had access to cigarettes. I could have gotten them for
Oh, hey, it's a cigarette. Back up.
It's a real prison shit.
Yes, you can beat me up and take them all away from me now, but I won't tell you where the rest of them are.
Well, this story, it ended up being
9-year-old bully.
This was just last week for me. Well, this story
offering a child cigarettes will stop beating you up. Stop!
Give me your money. No, I don't like Venmo. This ended up being
When I catch my breath, you're in serious trouble, mister.
Well, it was the inspiration to the 1998 Norm Macdonald movie Dirty Work. I never seen it, but it got really, really bad fucking reviews. But apparently he loved it, and God, what's his name? The guy from America's Home Videos. Fuck.
Fucking Tim Allen.
No,
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Yeah, he was in it too.
I don't know why I said that.
They both loved working that movie, even though it was really fucking bad. They both talked about doing a sequel up until 2022 when Norm died.
That's not fair. Bob Saget should be in hell.
Wow. I know nothing about the man, so that's...
It's not funny. He's not a funny person.
God, why have you forsaken me? It wasn't funny.
It's like, no, dude. Like,
now, the other book Dahl published in 1979 was My Uncle Oswald, named after the main character in the erotic story The Visitor. But this isn't a book of short story erotica. Instead, it's a full-blown erotic novel. The story is of Oswald with the brilliant scheme to collect semen from famous men and sell it to rich women. He doesn't do this on his own, luckily.
I feel like rich women could just collect the semen.
Maybe. But he does it all with the help of a seductress named Yasmin How Comely.
As a matter of fact, I feel like, if the man is heterosexual, I feel like any woman would have a better chance at collecting the semen.
Maybe. I mean, but what if they're ugly, I guess. I don't know. I never read the book,
unless
unless
a dude came up to me and was like, "Hey man, I'll give you like $2,000 for your semen." And I'd be like, "Okay." And then I'd be like, "Wait a minute, you're not going to flip it, are you?"
I get a fucking cut if you flip it.
You're going to make money off my sack.
But these are famous men. They don't want illegitimate prodigy. So, I mean, I guess I get it. But so he uses
illegitimate prodigy?
Yeah. Kids.
Prodigy?
Yeah.
That's not what that word means.
Isn't it?
No, prodigy is like somebody who's like really talented at like a specific thing.
No. It's got two meanings.
Does it?
Yeah. It's
Bullshit.
like facade.
Okay, I don't know what either of the meanings of that word are.
Well, either way, he basically uses this sexy lady and a love potion that's mixed into a box of chocolates, which is just roofies. But as the book takes place in the 1920s...
It's not a love potion, he's unconscious. But he also has a boner. It's love.
Their victims include well-known royalty as well as authors and playwrights, such as Marcel Proust, James Joyce, Joseph Conrad, H.G. Wells, Rudyard Kipling, Arthur Conan Doyle, George Bernard Shaw, and even artists like Matisse and Monet.
You wouldn't have to drug James Joyce.
Just fart on me. Though they couldn't get Picasso's jizz because he refused to wear a condom. They even get the splatter of Albert Einstein and Sigmund Freud, Now, granted, I haven't read this one, but it has made my list. And the critics are split between saying this book is horrible and it's literally about jizz theft, you're fine. Like it's supposed to be stupid. Also, I mentioned it last episode, but do you remember how I told you that Dahl liked making up words in a way that kids would never know what they meant? Like the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Or jizz theft.
Yeah. No, I made that one. Well, we finally get the definition of snozberries from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in My Uncle Oswald. Quote, "How did you manage to roll the old rubbery thing on them?" Condom. Mm-hmm. "There's only one way when they get violent," Yasmin said. "I grabbed hold of his snozberry and hung onto it like grim death and gave it a twist or two to make him hold still." So there you have it. A kid at Willy Wonka's factory said, "Wow, this wallpaper tastes like a cock." Brilliant.
Oh my god.
In 1980.
Or is it balls?
Oh, it's
plural.
It's a dick
balls.
head.
It's a dick head.
Yeah. Snozberry is like...
That actually totally makes sense. In my childlike mind now, I understand.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Scrumptiddly snozberries.
Yeah, that's the
I know.
schnozberry.
Yeah. Well, in 1980...
Just a big bowl of schnozberries.
Snozberries and cream, please. Roald Dahl published his classic, The Twits. So the story is about a horrible couple.
Sorry. Fuck.
Don't think about it.
Damn. All right, move on. Fuck. It's hitting me. I don't like it. Damn.
The story is about a horrible couple called the Twits that live in a windowless brick house. They spend all day committing pranks against each other out of a shared hatred. Now, it's a pretty simple story, but here's the thing.
Sounds like an Always Sunny episode.
Kinda, yeah. Now, Roald Dahl hated beards. He didn't just hate having one, he hated that other people had them too. So he gave one of the twits a beard, and as such, the opening line to the story is, quote, "What a lot of hairy-faced men there are around nowadays. When a man grows hair all over his face, it is impossible to tell what he really looks like." He later says, quote, "As you know, an ordinary unhairy face like yours and mine simply gets a bit smudgy if it is not washed often enough, and there's nothing so awful about that. But a hairy face is a very different matter. Things cling to hair, especially food. Things like gravy go right in among the hairs and stay there. You and I can wipe our smooth faces with washcloth, and we quickly look more or less all right again, but the hairy man cannot do that." And then later, "So what I want to know is this."
So he couldn't grow a good beard, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it sounds like he's a little salty about it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this goes on for a while, too. "So what I want to know is this. How often do all these hairy-faced men wash their faces? Is it only once a week, like us on Sunday nights? And do they shampoo?"
Whoa, bro, you only wash your face once a fucking week on Sunday nights?
I do it daily?
Yeah, no shit. Christ.
"And do they shampoo it? Do they use a hairdryer? Do they rub hair tonic in to stop their faces from going bald? Do they go to a barber to have their hairy faces cut and trimmed, or do they do it themselves in front of a bathroom mirror with nail scissors?"
I don't know. Why don't you worry about your fucking self?
I know, he's just angry about
God
beards.
Damn. My bros are just so unkissable now.
Fucking when our beards touch, it like hangs onto each other like fucking Velcro.
God damn it. I hate when a beard hits my balls.
In 1981, he came out with George's Marvelous Medicine, about a boy who switches his grandmother's medicine with a witch's brew he concocts, using things like flea powder and varnish and perfume, and rather than killing her, it actually makes the grandma tall as a house.
It made me fly away from my body and look at myself in third person, just from breathing it in.
Well, while not initially a problem, the book did raise some safety concerns. The book now...
Wait, is this one for kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't. Not a good one,
Well,
dude.
the book
You're
now...
going to go into the cupboard and grab all the weird colored shit you can see, pour it into a cup.
Did you ever make potions as a kid?
No.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it's why I am the way I am today, you know. Well, the book...
As an adult, yes.
The book now... turns to neat crystals.
As a teenager, maybe.
The book nowadays does have a disclaimer on it, like in the beginning, that the medicine George makes is dangerous and warns against it. In 2020, a group of researchers decided to make the potion anyway to see what it would do. It turns out it kills you.
The witch's potion.
Yeah, it's a witch's brew. Oh, cool. Is it a death potion?
What does it do? Fucking kills you.
It melts your
It's the
goddamn
death spell.
insides. Yeah.
Or what is it? Bleach and fucking what else makes the goddamn mustard gas?
Let's not talk about how to make mustard gas on the podcast. I know how, but
Everyone, fucking, it's not like we're not releasing like
detailed instructions.
No, dude, it's a fucking warning thing. You can't store those cleaning products next to each other.
Well, who
It
the
makes
fuck
fucking
has
mustard gas.
ammonia? Like nobody has.
There's ammonia in a lot of cleaning products, Jordan. Do you not know
okay.
that? Do you wait? No, seriously, do you not know that? Because you're in charge of cleaning your house.
No,
I know that.
you are correct. Yeah.
There's ammonia in a lot of shit.
No, you're
and there's
right.
bleach in a lot of shit.
For some reason,
and it's all stored in the same fucking place in your home right now, isn't it, Jordan?
No, I just put it all in one bucket. You know,
Dude.
I put Windex in there so that I just like fill up a bottle and I spray that on all the windows. I clean the vents with it.
Do you know how it's in a stable state right now?
Shake it.
So there's these guys that deal with emergency situations that pop up from time to time called firefighters.
Well, it's not starting a fire, idiot.
I know it's not, but in the event that there's a fire, why do you think I sold all my ammo?
Oh.
You following me?
Why would there be a fire in your house?
Why would there be a fire in my house?
Yeah, just don't start one.
There are two other people there. They are also drunk.
Yeah, drunk fire's pretty cool.
I tried to season a fucking cast iron in the oven and it caught on fire, okay? Like,
gotta clean that bitch.
I was scared. We did! With fire! There are two fireplaces in my house.
One of them's the oven.
One of them is my roommate's bedroom, and he is fucking shithoused.
That is not a good place for
He's
it.
a beer salesman, Jordan.
Oh, that one. God damn. All right, now, do you remember the Stinky Cheese Man?
Yes.
Okay. No, Dahl didn't do that one, but this next book was kind of a precursor to it. In 1982, he released 2 books, the first of which was called Revolting Rhymes, which were...
Organize your cleaning supplies more safely.
Yes. It was like classic children's tales such as like Snow White or Cinderella, but with like really fucked up endings. So like in Little Red Riding Hood, when she sees the wolf, she just pulls out a gun and kills him, you know, shit like that, you know. No, it's not edgelordy, it's just funny, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, it was meant for kids.
You're a little edgelordy.
Sure, yeah, I guess. But the other book he released in 82 would once again become a children's
Pulls out
classic.
a gun and kills him? That's not meant for kids.
I mean, it is to British kids. They don't know. They don't have access to a firearm.
I just think it's
They do
goofy.
here.
I bet that's only for animals.
So this next book, literally inspired by the man who helped build the
Come on, buddy.
who helped
Come on, buddy.
build the additions.
You got it.
To the Gypsy House in Great Missenden from publishing house
Well,
Jonathan
I wish you
Cape
didn't say it now.
comes the BFG. You ever read this one?
What?
The BFG.
BFG?
Yeah.
Big fucking what?
Giant.
Big fucking giant?
Yeah.
Didn't you talk to me about that earlier?
Yeah,
Like
it was
today?
actually, well, it was brought up in Danny Champion of the World.
Oh,
Yeah, but
right.
like it was just yeah. So
Okay,
anyway.
yeah. Okay, you saw those movie posters and you also thought big fucking giant, right? Immediately?
Oh yeah, no, I thought of the big fucking gun from Doom. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the story is of a girl named Sophie.
This movie sucks.
When's he gonna rip and tear? The story is of a girl named Sophie. Same name as Roald's mom, just spelled different. She's an orphan who one night spies a giant, 25-foot man in a cloak using a trumpet to silently blow into rooms in the middle of the night.
What?
It's like a silent trumpet, but he just...
Like a skin flute, if you will?
If you will. He sees her and kidnaps her to the land of giants. Turns out that he is the only one of 10 surviving giants that doesn't eat people. He explains that he is the runt of the litter, and the rest tower more than 2 times taller than he. Throughout the book, we're given insight into the giant world as it's being taught to Sophie. There's a weird bit of giant racism, too. Like Turkish people taste best, but like people from Panama and Greece taste awful. A giant can be filled on just 2 or 3 Americans, but...
What do they say about pygmies?
Well, they can...
Wait, they said something about that?
Well, no.
Okay, wait.
But
I actually don't want to know.
in
I'm sorry. I thought that was
another-
just gonna fly out.
in another race of small people, while it takes 2 or 3 Americans to fill themselves, it takes about 6 Japanese.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
I was really hoping you were gonna say hobbits.
No, it doesn't age the best.
Oh, okay.
And it turns out what this giant does, the big friendly one, goes out to a field to capture dreams where he bottles them, turns the dreams into his own concoctions. He then takes whatever story he's made and goes to children's windows in the middle of the night and blows the dreams in through a horn. There's a lot of world building in this one, so
I don't know what to think about these fucking creatures, man.
Giants?
Like, they're fucking predators.
Yeah,
They're like apex predators.
yeah.
And they fuck with kids.
Oh, yeah, no, children die in this, actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot of world building in it, so I'm not going to go too into depth, but basically...
This is like it if Pennywise wrote it.
Well, what they do is Sophie and BFG give a dream to the Queen of England, who learns of the giant's existence this way, and then they help her hunt the rest of them down, basically. Like, literally, they eat, like, a school full of children. It's neat, you know, but that's what real giants do. They eat kids.
They eat kids.
The BFG was published on November 17th, 1982, on the 20th anniversary of Olivia's death. As such, the book is dedicated to her. The BFG immediately won tons of awards, just like most of Dahl's books, winning Children's Book of the Year pretty much the world over. But although his books were still as successful as ever, 1982 was a problematic year for Roald Dahl. He made some comments about Israel, and
Oh, no.
no, hang on. he made some comments about them and their invasion of Lebanon that same year that were justified, before saying some things that really weren't. He was horrified of the Israeli invasion and the subsequent travesties that happened, saying, quote, "Must Israel, like Germany, be brought to her knees before she learns how to behave in this world?"
Whoa.
Well, and it's like, okay, I wouldn't have put it that way, but I get it.
Hey, man, you're a fucking writer. You know what that sounds like.
No, well, as he stated, I am not anti-Semitic. I am anti-Israel. Okay.
I mean, that makes me just about as nervous as I'm not racist, but...
Yeah.
Except it's specific, and that worries me more.
Well, like, I get it, but...
Hey, look, homie, I ain't touching that one. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
No. That's not for me. I don't know enough about that.
No. Hang on.
No.
It's okay. Now, well, if somebody else said such a sentiment, I would maybe have a good discussion with someone. We here at the Caleb Can't Read podcast do not endorse anything that Roald Dahl is about to say.
Whoa.
Now, he later went on to say that the United States was too scared to go up against Israel because they are, quote, "so utterly dominated by the great Jewish financial institutions that they dare not defy them." He almost had it, but wait, maybe he can save himself. When he got interviewed as a piggyback from that interview, asking, "Hey man, can you elaborate on that last part?" Dahl said, quote, "There's a trait in the Jewish character that..."
Dahl said hot potato. Ha ha.
"There's a trait in the Jewish character that does provoke animosity. Maybe it's a kind of lack of generosity towards non-Jews." Hang on. This is the best part. "I mean, there is always a reason why anti-anything crops up anywhere. Even a stinker like Hitler didn't just pick on them for no reason."
Did he just victim blame the victims of the Holocaust?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Now, we have covered some people,
That's pretty fucking bad.
We've covered an actual Nazi, but that's a big no.
Damn, that guy was just saying that was so awful it didn't happen. He's saying the reason is they were annoying?
Or something. All he said was
dude,
that, hey,
how
man,
old is he at this fucking point? Is he losing it?
Oh,
I mean, clearly he's fucking lost it, but like, is he like losing it?
70s, I believe.
Okay, bro.
I know. No. Sorry, but still not an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse. I'm just fucking saying.
That response was very articulate.
Fucking A,
to say a stinker like Hitler didn't just pick on them for no reason.
A stinker?
Like Hitler. It's just that humbug, What a stinker. Dude, motherfucker, people are dead.
Dude.
Well, after this.
Okay, so he's anti-Semitic.
Yes.
Yeah.
100
fucking percent.
And I want to say for a little while.
Don't fucking start out with that next time. Don't build it up like, okay, he said a couple things about Israel, but hang on, they're kind of controversial.
No, I wanted to get you like
don't
that. Come on into my little nice cozy home and bam, anti-Semitism.
And bam, it's their fault. What the fuck, man?
Bam, I've got a pamphlet for you.
Yeah, the dude who wrote The Chocolate Factory and James the Giant Peach was wildly anti-Semitic.
Yeah, I want to say for a little while, like, publishing houses and shit tried to cover for him, and after a while, they're just like, all right, look, dude, it is not our opinion. Well, after this, Roald kept bouncing back and forth, trying to say that he didn't hate Jews, he just didn't like the Israeli government. But then he just keep going back to Jewish people in general.
Okay, you want to apologize for what you said before? Well, no. Okay, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, as he would later put it, quote, "There aren't any non-Jewish publishers anywhere. They control the media." So yeah, he went full on. Like, that's, when you start to hear about Jews in the media, that's when it's like,
okay.
Oh
boy.
You've gone the full, the pointer is all the way to the right. Like... In 1983, moving on, Roald Dahl and Patricia Neal divorced after 30 years of marriage. But that's okay, because that same year he married his longtime side piece, Felicity D'Abreu. She was able to quit her job and live full-time at the Gypsy House in Great Missenden, which I gotta point out, Wikipedia said that Patricia paid for one half of the property and Roald's mom paid for the other, but he still ended up keeping the place, even though he didn't spend a dime on it, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess maybe when she died, he got it. I don't know. Well, anyway, in 1983, Roald Dahl was presented with the World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement. Up until 2015, the award was a statuette of H.P. Lovecraft. Until maybe
did you say 2015?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, maybe appropriate for him to get that one.
Yeah, no, dude. Like we said many a time, not even just for the times. Like, dude was out there.
Oh yeah,
with the racism.
Yeah, no, people like racists were like, damn, this dude's problematic.
Racists were like, dude, we can't be seen with you.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, yeah, so in 2015, they realized maybe the image of Lovecraft was a little problematic, so they changed it. There was, and I just found this interesting.
Creepy little face.
Yeah, just... They changed it to a statue of a cat. Now, so there was actually, I thought this was interesting, there was actually a guy named Donald Wandre who won in 1984, but he refused the award because he knew Lovecraft personally, and he thought the likeness was too demeaning.
He didn't want to be associated with that little creep.
No, he thought the statue looked nothing like him and was therefore insulting. And it was like, I would be more insulted to be called his friend, you know?
Wait, you tolerated his presence? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What are your views on Israel? No, anyway. The next year, in 1984, Roald Dahl would release his next big hit from publishing house Jonathan Cape, The Witches. Quote, in fairy tales, witches always wear silly black hats and black cloaks.
God damn it, the writer of my childhood's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and they ride on broomsticks. But this is not a fairy tale. This is about real witches. The most important thing you should know about real witches is this. Listen very carefully. Never forget what is coming next. Real witches dress in ordinary clothes and look very much like ordinary women. They live in ordinary houses, and they work in ordinary jobs.
This is troubling me in a different way.
Because it's hot? I don't know where you're going with
I
it.
wasn't meaning to take it there, but yes, it is. Let's go.
The book is from the perspective of an unnamed narrator, and if you were to just read the first few chapters alone, you'd be able to tell that this is actually meant to be Roald Dahl himself. Remember, he had those like summers in Norway with his family. The first chapters are of the grandmother telling the narrator everything she knows about witches. How they're bald and wear wigs, how they have no toes, just square feet, and how they all wear black gloves to hide their claws. Honestly, if you've got a good imagination, the beginning of this book is actually quite frightening. There's a scene in the beginning where the narrator is trying to build a treehouse, and this lady just stares at him from the street and gives him this fucking grimace. Anyway, the story was inspired by Roald Dahl's visits to Norway, and when his grandmother would tell him tales, they'd be about how witches don't just exist, but there are witches in every country, and they all hate children. And I sympathize with him. My Norwegian grandmother pulled this exact same shit, as did my mom. Told me stories that were way too scary for how young I was.
People, y'all are fucked.
It was mean.
Y'all are... Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to mentally break me because they thought it was funny.
Y'all are super casual about really fucked up shit, you know that?
Well, look at where they live.
Yeah. It breaks you a little bit.
Well, dude, it was mean. I had a bad time, dude. I slept in the fetal position because my mom said if my feet dangle off the side of the bed, or I just have uncovered feet in general, that they would nobody would grab my ankle or whatever. They would cut my ankles. They would cut up my feet with knives and scissors. And I was like,
oh, wait, that's like a weirdly... No, wait, hold up. That's like a weirdly common thing. I don't even know if that's like a Norwegian-specific thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole, somebody grabbing your
I remember
ankle from
talking to
under
some,
the bed
trailer
and shit.
trash kids back when I lived in fucking Georgia that said their parents told them some shit like that, too. Seriously, you just dug up a very long memory. Long time ago memory thing.
Let's drink about it.
Yeah.
Fucking memories.
He told me that, and then we found porn under his dad's bed.
Sick!
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyway... The Witches takes place after the death of the narrator's parents, and when the will is delivered, it says that the boy must move to England for education, just like what happened to Roald Dahl. So the boy and his grandmother go to a hotel in England while they try to just figure things out. The grandma tells the boy to watch out for witches, as the ones in England are especially nasty. Well, the boy wanders the hotel lobby out of boredom when he sees a sign at the entrance of the grand ballroom welcoming the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. The boy decides to go in hell, maybe he can introduce them to the school he's going to go to, you know? Well, as he hides behind a screen to watch, He sees the assembly begin, and it's full of women who, as soon as the doors are locked, all remove their wigs to reveal their bald heads. They kick off their shoes to reveal their toeless feet, and slide off their black gloves to reveal their long claws. The meeting is held by the Grand High Witch, the queen of all witches. Her duty is to visit each country once a year to basically teach a class. This year, she shows the witches how to make a potion called...
Gotta get those education credits.
I'm only 200 years old. Well, you're a little behind. She teaches them Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker, which they can hide in candy to deliver to unsuspecting children.
Yeah, I thought I remembered something about a mouse in this story.
Did you read this one? I never read it until recently.
There's a movie too, right?
There is, yeah. There was an old one with Angelica Houston, and then there's a newer one with some people. I think Anne Hathaway's in it. I don't know. Well, once the potion takes its delayed effect, the kids will turn into mice, hopefully at home or at school. When the parents or teachers see a mouse scuttle across the floor, they will hopefully stomp them out. There is one part in this scene where the head witch is telling the others not to overdose the children on the potion because, quote, a large overdose might even have an instant effect, and you wouldn't want that, would you? You wouldn't want the children turning into mice right there in your sweet shops. That would give the game away. Which makes me feel like he's again placing poor Catherine Morgan, the candy shop owner he pranked when he was a kid, into the villain. To me.
Oh, yeah. Mice. Yeah. Candy shop.
A bitch deserved it, and I fucking put a dead animal in her food, and now she's mad? What a bitch. You know, like,
did she die?
At this point, she's very dead, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like...
no,
yes, everyone dies, Jordan. Thank you.
No, she didn't die from it. No,
okay.
No. He was worried that she did until she showed up that same day and was just like, it was that one, and then he got beaten.
Beat him up.
You do the honors. So anyway, the boy gets caught, and the potion is tested on him in front of all the other witches. But before they can kill him, he manages to escape and get back to his grandmother. With her help, they together steal the rest of the potion, dose it into the witches' meals, and in the ensuing panic of mice running through the dining room, the other guests manage to stomp them out. The story ends with the boy, now a mouse, and his grandmother devising a plot to kill the rest of the world's witches. But the boy says that as a mouse, he probably only has around 9 years left to live. But that's okay, says the grandmother, because she'll probably die around then too. It's a very bittersweet ending, and maybe the only one in which it doesn't end on a happier note. When The Witches came out, although it had positive reviews, it was seen as too scary by a lot of parents, which I get.
It's a little spooky, man.
Yeah, but that and misogynistic. Yes, the book was subsequently banned in several libraries across America for that reason. But when asked if the label of misogyny bothered Dahl, he said no, because he doesn't mind being...
Anti-Semite didn't bother me either.
Well, they asked him if the misogyny bothered him. He said no, because he doesn't mind being mean to women. I'm pretty sure he just said that to bother people at that point, though. Like, I think he's old and just doesn't care. Well, let me tell you how I really feel. Like, no...
We know how you feel. We know.
The next year, in 1984, Roald Dahl released his first autobiography. What's more, it was a children's book. Harkening back to how he would sign off his letters to his mother as Boy, since he was the only one out of his siblings, the book was simply titled Boy, Tales of Childhood. And on the first page of it, there's a couple of pictures where Roald Dahl and his siblings are playing in their backyard. And one of them is of the kids playing in a Wendy house. I don't know if you remember what that is.
I got nothing.
So basically it was like from Peter Pan. Wendy gets hit, like shot by an arrow. And when she falls, they build a little house around her. And like everyone was like, oh, that's so fucking cute. Let's build our kid a little playhouse just like it. And they were called Wendy houses in England, but it's a playhouse.
Yeah,
anyway,
I got you.
Yeah, so he had a Wendy house.
Mm-hmm.
So the first tale in Boy is one of his father when his dad, Harold Dahl, was 14. And this is the only one I'm really going to go into, but apparently he was fixing tiles on the roof of his house when he fell off and broke his arm below the elbow. As Dahl put it, quote, somebody ran to fetch the doctor, and half an hour later this gentleman made a majestic and drunken arrival in his horse-drawn buggy. He was so drunk that he mistook the fractured elbow for a dislocated elbow. So the doctor gets two guys off the street to hold the kid down as they yank on his dislocated elbow. on his broken fucking arm. They just keep yanking on it.
Hang on, not quite. No.
It's just it caused so much damage. They actually had to amputate Roald Dahl's like dad's arm.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he apparently wasn't all that bothered by it though. He kept his own personal fork around with him with a little, like in a little leather case where he'd sharpen the edge of one side so he could use it as both a knife and fork. He said his biggest issue was that he was never able to properly cut off the top of a boiled egg. So that's the most Norwegian shit I've ever heard. Oh, this sounds life-changing. How tragic. Egg.
No, it's not that bad. I can't fucking cut this egg.
Weep for me. Dahl also talks about how surgeries used to be done without any anesthetic of any kind. So when he had his tonsils removed, he goes into every detail about it, and it is fucked. And when he talks about his time at Repton, the abusive preparatory school he went to, he mentions some things that weren't all that bad. He didn't have to learn math because his math teacher told them like straight up on the first day, like, look, I don't teach math. I pretend to teach math. And then they'd work on like the crossword puzzle in the paper, like as a class.
Hell yeah, dude.
But you have to take some of his stories with a grain of salt because as I noticed him mention at the end of the book, quote, I shot down some German planes and I got shot down myself, crashing in a burst of flames and crawling out and getting rescued by brave soldiers crawling on their bellies over the sand. Motherfucker, no you didn't. He never got shot down. He crash landed once, but that was it. 2 years later, in 1986, Dahl would actually release sort of a continuation to Boy called Going Solo. This had all his... It's not a perv one. This had
You're mixing them all up.
This had like all of his tales of flying for the RAF with a little embellishment on his part. In particular with the stories he'd published in the past that he'd now print for a second time, but he revised them to make himself seem a lot cooler. Like this one time they had a group of Germans surrender, but only because when they refused to leave, they shot their commander at point blank range. In reality, even in Dahl's own admission when he first wrote about these events 10 years earlier, once the RAF showed up, the Germans were taken by surprise, so they just surrendered, you know? But it's not as cool, so he killed people in his new way.
He killed motherfuckers.
Yeah. But between the release of Boy in 1984 and Going Solo in 1986, in 1985, Roald Dahl was listening to the radio when he'd heard a broadcast about a measles outbreak in the UK, over 80,000 cases. Now, a vaccine had been introduced in 1963, but according to
Holy
parents...
shit, is he an anti-vaxxer too?
No. He was actually extremely... well, because his kid died because she didn't have one available.
Yeah, I know. I would have been surprised.
Well, but in
Oh,
this...
wow, why did I just lie like I remembered that?
just like fucking... I didn't even think about it. It just fucking flew out of my body. Just fucking...
a natural liar.
Just
and
lies,
I
dude.
believed you.
What the fuck? Dude. Okay, that's not good.
Well, according to the parents interviewed in this broadcast, they were hesitant to have their kids get the shot because they didn't understand the science behind it. Sound fucking familiar? Now remember, Dahl's first child, she fucking died a year before the vaccine came out. So he was a little infuriated to hear this, to say the least. You know, like, these motherfuckers actually have a way of preventing their child's death, something he didn't have. Dahl angrily talked to his doctor about it, saying, quote, "There's no need for it. Why do we have so much measles in Britain when the Americans have virtually got rid of it?" Man, I wish that went the same way in other cases. Well, Dahl wrote to the Department of Health and Social Security in England asking for something to be done, and in fact, Conservative Party chairman and fellow author Jeffrey Archer was going to suggest Roald Dahl himself be the spokesperson for the measles vaccine. But then Archer wound up paying for sex and got caught, so any ideas he had were now thrown into the fire.
Wait, really?
Yeah, right? Doesn't that suck? Like,
It's
I mean...
kinda like, it's not.
I know.
Wait, with like, wow, wait, with like, you mean like just with a consenting adult woman? Yeah.
Gross.
Like,
Yeah, so...
No, that's terrible. No, we gotta fire this guy at once.
Well, he still found backing with the government, though. So Dahl released a pamphlet called Measles, a Dangerous Illness, that was mailed out everywhere nationally. On the front of it, it simply said, quote, "Please take this letter home and give it to your parents." In the pamphlet... oh, fuck, I'm in
If
trouble.
they weren't mad before, they're going to be fucking mad now.
In the pamphlet... Oh, man, I've actually got a book up there that I have had for so long that it has bad report cards in it. Like, I would stow them in the same one right there. Anyway.
Wait, which one is it? Was it anything funny or just what you had around?
Well, kind of ironically, it was the big book of knowledge there. Yeah.
Good one.
In the pamphlet, Roald talked about the death of what would be his oldest child, saying, quote, Olivia, my eldest daughter, caught measles when she was 7 years old. As the illness took its course, I can remember reading to her often in bed and not feeling particularly alarmed about it. But he goes on to say, within 12 hours, she was dead. And as he explained that there was no choice for them, quote, on the other hand, he goes on to say, there is today something parents can do to make sure that this sort of tragedy does not happen to a child of theirs. They can insist that their child is immunized against measles. Now, he wrote this whole thing very carefully. He purposely kept himself from using a lot of big words so that if a child read it before their parents did, they could understand the dangers and badger their parents into getting it themselves. And he was a big name at this point, so of course when the kids saw it, they were like, Roald Dahl said to, Mom! You know? Well, the whole project was such a huge success that the government asked if Roald could write something on polio, but I think he declined.
He's like, wait, polio? That shit's so unsafe. Don't put that in your children's bodies.
Yeah. Jesus, they're doing that? No, I mean, I get it. It would have been a little disingenuous, and it probably would have lost impact on the original pamphlet if he did that, but apparently this letter still gets redistributed every time there's some sort of epidemic in England. I guess in 2015, there was an outbreak that happened at fucking Disneyland, and they distributed the flyers out there, too. In 1987, Roald Dahl published what I think was his last dirty story in the January 1987 issue of Playboy. The story was called The Bookseller, about a man who sends a bill for dirty books and magazines out to women who have been recently widowed by rich and powerful men. Rather than face the newspaper reports about an unpaid bill for pornography and ruining their name, the women always send a check back to the bookseller. However, at the end of the story, the bookseller gets not a check, but a letter from one woman who tells him that the gig is up as her husband was blind. Anyway, this story got Roald in a spot of trouble because this actually isn't his story. It was called Clerical Error by James Cousins.
Why would he wait this long to plagiarize something?
Right, and it was printed all the way back in 1935. But Jordan, you may say, how do we know that it's not sheer coincidence? Because Tales of the Unexpected, the TV show he was a part of, did an episode on it in season 6, just 8 months prior to this. So whereas I would usually say, like, well, he's an old man, maybe he thought that he came up with it. Like, no, it was just 8 months ago. You know,
oh, he's an old man. Have you ever been an old man? I haven't. I don't know how fucked up shit gets.
I mean, once I wasn't into it, so I stopped. You know,
like
I guess.
fucking know. Like, maybe.
Still, I'm not willing to give him any credence. The man's still an anti-Semite.
Fair.
Well, sometime in the late 80s.
Jordan, do you really think he's capable of plagiarism?
Sometime in the late 80s, Roald Dahl... What?
Oh.
It's recording.
I thought it stopped recording. I thought that's what red meant. Oh, man.
Green means go. Sometime in the late 80s, Roald Dahl began work on what would be seen as his last major work, Matilda. Originally, Matilda was going to be a psychotic child that tortures her parents with her powers and also uses them to cheat at the horse races. However... It was Dahl's longtime friend and editor, Stephen Roxburgh, that turned it all around. He instead rewrote it to make this story about a loving girl who develops her powers because of her abuse. When Roald Dahl got the reworked script back, he kept the story the way Roxburgh made it, changed a few things, then fired Roxburgh and sold the script to another company. Which is the shittiest fucking thing.
That's, yeah.
So
extreme.
So in 1988, from the Jonathan Cape Company came Matilda. Did you want me to go over this at all?
Fucking Matilda?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a little bit. There was Danny DeVito. That's cool.
Yeah. Incorrectly regarded as his first directing job, but it isn't. It's like his second. But
what was the first
anyway, Something that nobody cares about.
Can we just learn about Danny DeVito instead?
Yeah. So I've actually got a couple of things in here. No. But what?
Don't build me up like that.
But I can mention.
He's such a wonderful man.
I can mention so far. I'm just waiting for the photos under his mattress as soon as he's dead. Anyway, so
no way, dude. Somebody who looks like that can't get away with shit.
Yeah, you're right.
like,
yeah, good point. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Probably a good point. Good person.
Like, look at you. That's why you're clean.
Yeah. I'm not clean. I'm greasy. Anyway, so
Exactly.
I will say the Miss Trunchbull character, she's actually again based on the lady who ran the candy shop. Like he directly
Is that
the
the real big scary lady?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Big scary spinny lady.
Yeah, she's a fantastic villain. She swings a girl by her pigtails before throwing her out a window. She forces poor fat boy Bruce Bogtrotter to eat an entire chocolate cake to the point of sickness. And worst of all, she puts what she feels are the worst offenders in the chokey, a box in which you are forced to stand up straight lest you hunch and the jagged glass or rusty nails poke your skin.
I don't remember that from the film.
Yeah, it was in the film, and actually, it's what made it famous because the chokey is only brought up like once in the book, like as kind of like a throwaway joke. But also, I do want to give a shout out to Hungry Hero in Sherwood, Oregon, who not only made my wedding cake, but they also at least had, I don't know if they still make it, but it was this $100 chocolate cake called the Bruce Bogtrotter. That at one point they were selling like slices of it individually. It was fucking amazing. It was super good.
Yeah, did you like it?
It was.
How much did you like it?
It was real good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the Matilda is actually it's an interesting read when you realize it's one of Roald Dahl's last. It lists like a ton of books by name that I think are ones that Dahl himself read and loved. He even named Dylan Thomas at one point, the poet whose writing hut he saw in the 50s and decided to emulate that for his own. He also had writing hut.
What's it?
It's just a place where you don't have to see your family and you could just jerk off alone.
Oh, that's why I went in the weird little wagon.
The wagon was a different spot for him to jerk off, actually. Anyway.
This is for writing away from my family.
Family. Also in quotations.
Dude, you've only written your erotic stuff in there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Well, also, so he does reflect on his life a little bit in here, not just with like his influences, but he also has this one point where Matilda's dad is yelling at her for not thinking it's good to be a crooked salesman, and he yells at her, "Who the heck do you think you are, the Archbishop of Canterbury or something?" Which is the position that abusive headmaster at Repton took after he was done there. And overall, this is like the only Dahl book that follows a novel structure. His other ones are kind of episodic, you know? You follow the characters and things just kind of resolve at the end, but Matilda has actual character arcs and a main plot, which only took him like 25 years to do. In 1989, just like his earlier tales from Revolting Rhymes, Roald Dahl would do his own version of tales like Aladdin and his magic lamp and The Tortoise and the Hare, but these were apparently a lot more risque. But Roald Dahl's a big name, so having his name on the cover would be a risk for children to read. But don't worry, because he has a sign in the illustration on the cover that says, "Warning, unsuitable for small readers." So if you're a parent just not paying attention...
What if you're just a man under 6 feet?
Read something else. Well, but this became a problem because
Read something else, boy.
Parents just saw Roald Dahl's like name on the cover and just, you know, didn't look at the illustration very hard where someone's holding a sign that says, "Hey, don't let your kids read this." So a lot of
And
people,
if you're a kid, you're not going to show your parents that. You're going to be like, "Oh,
no,
shit,
no,
fuck yeah."
Yeah, so what the kids ended up doing was asking their parents, "Hey, Mom, what's a slut?" You know?
Hey, Mom. Yes? What's a slut? Whoa!
Ask your father. In 1990, Roald Dahl released what would be the last of his works published during his lifetime. SEO Trot, about an old man loving his widowed neighbor from afar, but he can't get to know her because he can't understand her. Turns out she speaks backwards. SEO Trot is tortoise backwards.
Is what?
A tortoise.
What the fuck is a tortoise?
What the fuck is a tortoise?
No. Why is it tortoise?
Oh.
No, what the fuck is a tortoise, Jordan? You asshole.
Well, I don't know, man.
I know what a tortoise is, you dickhead. I went to work at the zoo a bunch, okay? Like, they didn't retain any of that?
No, your parents left you at the zoo. It's different.
Found and then left at.
I didn't read it. I think she just held up a turtle at one point and was like, Essio trot. And he was like, oh man, she must be Greek. And it turns out that she just speaks backwards.
Exotic.
Sexy. On November 23rd, 1990, Roald Dahl passed away at the age of 74 from a rare bout of blood cancer. I didn't even know that you could get that.
Fucking blood cancer, man.
I didn't know. He passed away at an...
I imagine that would metastasize pretty fucking quickly.
I would guess so, yeah.
How much time do I have? No, it's in your fucking blood, dude.
It's like that old joke. Like, how long do I have?
Sucks.
5. What, months? 4. 3.
Fuck!
He passed away at an Oxford hospital with all his family in attendance. Ever the writer, he had his last words memorized for just this occasion. Quote, "You know, I'm not frightened. It's just that I will miss you all so much." But when the nurse pricked him with a syringe of morphine to ease his passing, his real last words became, "Ow, fuck!"
Really?
Yeah.
God, hell yeah.
And then he whispered, sorry, before going to sleep. Roald Dahl, man, if it wasn't for the shitty anti-Semitic stuff, this would be a great man.
You know what? Maybe we wouldn't mention that. If you hadn't been so naughty.
Roald Dahl was buried at the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul in Great Missenden, the town where he lived.
Takes like... I don't know, dude. Like, dude fucking fought in World War II, yeah?
Yeah. Like actively fought.
Okay,
in
look,
a plane, which is
I'm
scarier.
not fucking saying that it's ever okay, duh.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it takes an extraordinary amount of stupidity to like fought in the fucking
That's
war and
true.
been alive in that fucking time.
Fought for
like
Jews. Yeah, it's weird, right?
like
I don't know.
And then have those views about and then be anti-Semitic afterwards. It's just really fucking weird.
It is weird, but I mean, and I do also know people who fought in like the Middle East who are also extremely racist towards people in the Middle East. Like they were before they went. And
what do you think they fucking tell them before they send them there, man?
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's really scary.
It's so fucking weird.
It's genuinely scary.
I want that man to hold a gun. Not just a gun, but a gun that has night vision, a gun that can also like double as a fucking red eye target to fucking send in a drone. Hell yeah. It's so weird. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just saying like a little bit more of a piece of shit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like
honestly.
He's literally like getting the news like as it's fucking coming.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
He's just like,
no, you're right.
And he's
Fuck
like,
him.
yeah,
it's more
like,
than just an old man who had these views because he never moved out of his small town. This was a man of the world who fought on the correct side of things and still came out to be a dickhead. Like, fuck him. Anyway, he was buried with his prized possessions: a cue stick, some burgundy, chocolate, pencils, and a power saw. He was not only really into snooker, but he loved renovating antique furniture as well. It's a more boring version of pool, billiards. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like pool for snobs. Anyway, after his death, there were a multitude of books to come out and cash in as quick as they could. Some were planned, such as The Vicar of Nibbleswick, about a vicar, a type of priest with dyslexia.
Yes, I played Bloodborne.
Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have put that in there. And the proceeds for this book were to go to the Dyslexia Institute in London. Like that was planned. There was also Roald Dahl's Guide to Railway Safety, which was commissioned by the British Railways Board. Again, probably something he had a stake in since his son was hit by a fucking car. But others, like multiple best of Roald Dahls, which were collections of stories he'd printed once or twice already in other books, those weren't planned. They just were cashing in. For instance, in 1993, the last year of Roald Dahl's diary was published under the title My Year. which I have reservations about. I don't think he planned on his diary being read. In 1991, a year after his death,
Diaries are not sacred, that's why I don't have one.
Yeah. Felicity set up... Also, you can't write. Felicity set up the Roald Dahl Foundation with a focus on sick children. She also published a cookbook called Memories with Food at Gypsy House that same year. There's even a recipe in it for George's marvelous medicine that won't kill you, but instead it's chicken soup. She's also served as producer and consultant on most of the movies that have come out in the last 20-odd years based on Roald's work. In 1997, the Roald Dahl Children's Gallery was established in Buckinghamshire, as well as the Roald Dahl Museum and Story Center in the village of Great Missenden in 2005. The candy store where the Great Mouse Plot in 1923 occurred was turned into a Chinese restaurant in 2009, although now it's a vacation rental. A blue plaque, which signifies places of note, usually birthplaces of famous people, was added to the shop in 2009 after much investigation into where the candy store actually was. It was the first blue plaque belonging to Roald Dahl and was unveiled by his son Theo with the local school kids in attendance. Ever since his death in 1990, Roald Dahl's writing hut in the garden of the Gypsy House had been slowly dilapidating. The inside is reminiscent of a hoarder. There's a heater tied to the ceiling fan by a bit of string. There's a large ball of foil from Kit Kat wrappers, and there's a hole in his writing chair since he had an abscess in his back, and the hole relieved the pressure. So he's like a Lego.
What the fuck,
gross.
dude?
The hut had apparently never once been cleaned in the decades since it was built. And the Kit Kat wrappers I can actually explain. His working day began...
He ate Kit Kats?
Well, yes, but I mean...
Fuck, that was the one thing we're not wondering about.
Because it was two separate things that I had read. Like, there was a ball of Kit Kat wrappers. I'm like, that's weird. And then later, I read this.
It's not fucking weird. He just didn't clean Kit Kat wrappers. There's nothing weird about that.
No,
oh my
listen.
god, what could it mean?
Listen,
it means motherfucker like Kit Kats.
Okay, well then, you know what? Let's negate that. And let me tell you about the same way that he would have his day every single day for decades.
Okay.
His working day began and ended on the dot every day. At 10:30 a.m., he'd walk to the writing hut and stay there until noon, in which he'd come in for lunch. And lunch, which was usually Norwegian prawns with mayonnaise and lettuce, he'd take a Kit Kat from out of the box, walk back into the writing hut, and he'd come back inside the house for dinner at 6. Every single day. Prawns.
Yeah,
Anyway.
like I said, he ate Kit Kats, motherfucker. It ain't mysterious. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I solved a mystery, Caleb. Be
what
proud
the
of me
fuck?
for once.
Why did you even present it that way?
In 2011, fundraising commenced to save the writing hut, which was successful in raising $500,000, though people questioned why the fundraiser was needed in the first place if the family literally consists of nothing but millionaires. In his work desk, among lost chapters of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and drafts for another sequel, were personal letters Roald Dahl had made about his feelings towards Olivia that he never shared with anyone. Patricia Neal, Roald Dahl's first wife, died in 2010 from lung cancer in Edgartown, Massachusetts at the age of 84. Her friend that ragged on her after the opening night of The Fountainhead had actually become a nun in 1963 at age 24, and it seems that she managed to convert her lifelong friend to Catholicism just months before her passing. Their second eldest child after Olivia, Tessa, has spent much of her life writing either children's books or magazine articles, and she's been in quite a number of relationships which has produced a number of children. She's been in relationships with Brian De Palma and Peter Sellers, but it was her relationship with Julian Holloway from the painfully British comedy series Carry On that produced Sophie Dahl, fashion model and currently married to Jamie Cullum. He's always been a goofy-looking motherfucker to me, but he's also she's like a foot taller than him too, so he looks like more of a child. Anyway, yeah, it's cute. It looks like he sits on her knee. Anyway, Tessa did have another kid that got married to the fucking Princess of Jordan, so they're doing fine. But Tessa Dahl also had a few things to say about her father's parenting skills growing up. Apparently, when she was like 8, he'd take out all of his pent-up frustration on her by yelling, "Why can't you be like Olivia?"
What?
Yeah, he would just yell at her for not being like the dead kid.
Oh,
Just
man.
sad. But he'd also shut...
I don't care if your older sister's dead.
Yeah.
This isn't going to stop you from having a complex. You understand me?
Well, and then when she got, frustrated at her dad or whatever, he would usually shut her up with wine and Quaaludes, which is not...
It's a child.
not-
Wine
I
will
know.
do it. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, but these will make it really fun.
Shut her down.
Also told his kids that they weren't normal, but stopped them from seeking mental help when they realized that living with him had severely fucked them up. So there's that. Well, Roald's next eldest child, Theo, he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so good for him. I would be terrified if all my information was available online. No, he apparently bags groceries.
That's a weird fucking statement to make as somebody who's trying to make a podcast work. You understand that, right?
I'm watching every one of you. But no, Theo, he apparently bags groceries in Florida, and he fucking loves it. He doesn't want to be famous at all. He just, he likes working. Anytime there's some sort of Roald Dahl celebration, he's right there hosting it, though. I don't think he even needs to work. The whole family's rich. He's into it. Their next kid, Ophelia, has really made a name all on her own in the healthcare industry. Like, reading about her was immensely boring. That's how good of a job she's doing. And finally, there's the youngest child, Lucy, who, besides writing the 2018 comedy film Wild Child, starring Emma Roberts, has mostly stuck...
The fucking what?
I never heard of it. She's mostly stuck with writing articles online.
The 2018 comedy film.
2008.
Oh,
Even
2008.
better.
Okay.
Roald Dahl's books have sold over 200 million copies in over 63 languages, and is today seen as one of the greatest children's authors that ever lived. And luckily, for people such as Caleb, there are several films based on the works of Roald Dahl as well. But whereas Dahl himself infamously never allowed a movie to be made after Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, his widow Felicity...
Well, they just waited till he was dead. Then.
Yep, she's been right there to sign every contract.
Yeah.
There's the 1990 Angelica Houston Witches movie, which was the last movie Jim Henson ever worked on. Then there's the 1996 Henry Selick movie, James and the Giant Peach. There was the 2009 Wes Anderson movie, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Disney put out that weird CGI version of the BFG in 2016.
Big fucking giant?
Yeah, big old fucking one. In 2020, there was a Netflix adaptation of Witches, which gained controversy from those that wanted it, it felt like, saying that the witches having talons was opening the gateway for kids to be mean to others that have limb disabilities.
I'm not going to go for the low-hanging sexism fruit here.
Wasn't that the issue in the first place? Was the sexism, misogyny?
I thought this was possibly like
limb
misogyny.
differences. Yeah.
Whoa, fucking what?
Yeah. The apology I read from Anne Hathaway was so cookie cutter. It was very like, I will do better. It was like, shut the fuck up.
What about people with long fingers? I don't know, man. Like, fuck. Like, I don't hate them because of their long fingers, because they're not witches and this is a movie. How about it?
So fucking stupid. Just last year, Netflix bought the film rights to the entire Dahl catalog. A Wes Anderson production of The Wonderful World of Henry Sugar should be coming out later this year. But of course, nothing will ever trump the 1996 film directed and starring Danny DeVito, Matilda.
Ain't we about to have a glass elevator?
Actually, yeah. Taika Waititi, or is that his name?
I think so. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sorry.
I mean, I know dude. I like dude, but like,
yeah, I like dude.
Everybody likes
know,
dude.
Man.
Like,
now, for all the anti-Semitic comments that he's made, Roald Dahl's friends and family have tried to cover his ass throughout the years. Like, no, he's got lots of Jewish friends. But it was all pretty pointless. However, in 2020, the Dahl family finally released a statement which said, quote, "The Dahl family and the Roald Dahl Story Company deeply apologize for the lasting and understandable hurt caused by some of Roald Dahl's statements. Those prejudiced remarks are incomprehensible to us and stand in marked contrast to the man we knew and to the values at the heart of Roald Dahl's stories, which have positively impacted young people for generations. We hope that, just as he did at his best, at his absolute worst, Roald Dahl can help remind us of the lasting impact of words." And as great as that apology would be, some have noted that the apology came at a point immediately following their having signed several Hollywood contracts. They waited.
I mean, I feel like, Well, at the same time, like, how fucking high up on your schedule is going to be addressing your dad's anti-Semitism to the public?
You know, that I guess
until you fucking really have to. I feel like I would backburner that. I'd be like, dude, I don't want to fucking talk about this.
I can honestly see it both ways. Like I guess in this climate, I guess it probably would.
Like, I don't want to talk about my fucking Southern grandparents unless I absolutely fucking like. If tomorrow my boss was like, look, you cannot have another paycheck until you apologize for your grandparents, I'd be like, God damn it.
You know what? I mean, I feel like people are kind of ragging on them because they're rich, and I mean, hey, I'll be right there.
No, they're ragging on him because he's a fucking anti-Semite.
No. I mean, here's the thing. Plural, not as in him. No. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Like, no. They didn't like their father. It sounded like, you know. So I kind of get it. You know.
He also sucked to us.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Today, the Wonka name is just as popular as ever, with Nestle acquiring the rights to the Wonka trademark from the Quaker Oats Company, and there have even been knockoff Wonka bars being sold in Britain. The Food Standards Agency, the English FDA, had to issue a warning last year that fake Wonka bars were being sold with incorrect allergy information. So watch out,
Oops,
kids.
all shellfish. This is a fucking clam.
This is just a clam.
This is a lobster.
My sources today: The Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl, Puffin Books, 2013. The BFG by Roald Dahl, Scholastic Inc. Doesn't say what year this one was printed, but my guess would be around the 2010s. I think it was from a box set. The Witches by Roald Dahl, first Scholastic printing, January 1997. Boy, The Tales of Childhood by Roald Dahl. Stop it. God, it gets better.
Boy.
Puffin Books, 2013. Matilda by Roald Dahl, Puffin Books, 2013. Big, Sometimes Friendly Giant by Sam Anderson, NewYorkMag.com. September
Big,
3rd,
Sometimes Fucking
2010. That was the whole thing about feeding your kids Quaaludes. Roald Dahl's Son Lives a Quiet Life in North Naples by Laura Layden, NaplesNews.com, September 13th, 2016, and Wikipedia. Boy, what other things do you have to talk about in North Naples?
I don't know.
I will say, though,
if you're enjoying your quiet life, definitely don't fucking tell people where you live there.
I know, right?
I don't know, man. Like,
so I will say, if you haven't seen it all over the headlines, I guess in certain corners of the world.
What's going on?
Well, so they in another, oh God, I'm gonna hate to say it, but in another degree of wokeness that the family is doing
don't
after
fucking say it
you know
like that,
after they have to go out and apologize for the things that their father said, which, let's face it, weren't even that bad.
Dude, if they're making money off of the shit that he wrote, the least they can fucking do is come out and be like, yes, we know he was anti-Semitic.
Exactly.
We're really sorry about that. Like, oh, boo fucking who.
Well, so there's this weird thing that I think was a marketing tactic. Basically what they said, like, literally a month ago, maybe, was that they said that we're re-releasing Roald Dahl's books, but this time more politically correct. And the thing is that would be fine, but I read through practically all of his books before doing this, so they were all fresh in my mind, and I'm thinking, like, what? Like, I'm thinking, like, the time that the grasshopper and James and the Giant Peach says, like, I'd rather be fried alive and eaten by a Mexican. I'm like, okay, that should have been probably taken out, sure. You know, but no, what they're doing is they're saying, like, things like Mr. and Mrs. Twit. They're not crazy. Crazy's a not okay term anymore. And Augustus Gloop isn't fat, you know, and they're taking out omitting
Is this a real
words
thing?
such as
Because
it's a real thing. Well, here's the thing. They told everyone it's a real thing. They said that they're re-releasing everything, and when everybody got up in arms about it, they're like, okay, we're going to release two versions. There's the politically correct one and the like the dad one.
Because this seems to me like something that someone is saying just so they get attention.
Well,
because it's obviously silly.
It came from the company itself publishing it.
And
it feels like...
Oh, wait. The company's marketing?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird, Jordan.
No, I know. So that's where they've been in the news lately, is that, and it's fucking stupid. It's all a ploy. Do you remember Dr. Seuss's family said that they were, like, nixing 6 books that Dr. Seuss himself said that he was ashamed of them because he portrayed Japanese people in a negative light in these children's books. And they said, like, we're not going to produce these books anymore with the Dr. Seuss stamp on it. you can still get those books. Everyone went out and immediately started buying those books like they were ever going to sell out. Like, no, I love the racist Dr. Seuss. You know, I don't know what I'm standing for anymore, but I'm going to get it, you know? But you can
read this and then go take a hot shower.
Yeah, there's still people producing those books. You still get them. It's fucking fine. If anything, I might pick up the political.
I'm pretty sick if there wasn't racist Dr. Seuss books. Honestly, I feel like that'd be more fun.
Well, no, I mean that's why the family said that they were getting rid of them. Though they were like, he was ashamed of these books.
At least they're not like making money off of them or something. They're like,
yeah.
I mean, not like they need to be sure. Let's fucking put it. You know what? No, fuck that. Let's put them under pressure. Let's make them so. Hey, you don't make money off any of these now. Now, what do you think about the racism? We'll see your true colors, motherfucker.
Get rid of all of his books. Burn them. Honestly, if anything, I might go out and get the politically correct Roald Dahls because I feel like that's a marketing ploy that may go away.
Okay. Also, it's totally
it's like cool collector's editions.
I feel like it'd totally be worth like getting it from a library because it seems like to me. Like, do you like follow the fucking publishing company on Twitter and then you saw the tweet your fucking self?
Nope. It was
so do you
all
think
over the news about something that was probably taken out of context.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm up on it. I know.
Okay. Yeah, it would be really fucking interesting to probably get them and be like, oh, this is fine. They actually did just take out the weird thing about Mexicans.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
like, hey, that would probably be really harmful for a kid to read that.
I bet Danny's gonna read a whole lot different though because they can't say gypsy anymore.
You knew the whole time.